pound for pound is always subjective. In other words, it's all opinionated. And a lot of people who do pound for pound list, I mean, I personally don't. I don't really believe in it too much. But a lot of them will base it on the fact that they like the fighter more than the reality of the fighter. Okay? And a lot of people use race as a way to put people above other ones. But either way, BoxRec has its official pound for pound for each weight class. Okay, and that's what we're going to go down. So at heavyweight, they're saying that Anthony Joshua is the best pound for pound fighter at heavyweight, and that's difficult to argue with. He's taken on everybody that is willing to fight him, and he's consistently fought the best time and time again. As in, the ones that he hasn't fought yet are pretty much ones who just don't want to fight him, right? Or just not quite on that level yet. But anyway, Anthony Joshua is their pound for pound king at heavyweight. At cruiserweight, Alexander Usyk. How can anybody disagree with that one, right? Undisputed cruiserweight world champion, and of course a fresh victory with a knockout stoppage over Tony Bellew. So yeah, that one can't be disputed surely. Light heavyweight, Alida Alvarez. Now for me, I would probably put Dmitry Bivol in there, or Artur Beterbiev. And potentially some say that Kovalev may actually get Alvarez in the rematch. So again, it's a bit of a tough one. In fact, I'll probably favour Callum Johnson to beat Alvarez. But again, this is all opinionated, isn't it? So it is whatever it is, but they have Alvarez as their pound for pound number one. At super middleweight, Callum Smith. Yeah, again, I agree. Winner of the World Boxing Super Series, the Muhammad Ali Trophy. He's, of course, the Super WBA super middleweight world champion plus WBC diamond. Again, be hard to look past him. I know that there are a couple of other champions out there, but listen, if you didn't enter the World Boxing Super Series, for me, you're a ducker. Okay, so that you shouldn't even be talked about in the pound for pound list. So I agree with Callum Smith. Middleweight, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now, again, this is a bit of a tricky one because he does have unified titles. Okay, so again, it's hard to argue against it, and he does have a victory over Triple G Gennady Golovkin. But again, you see a lot of people said that Triple G won the first fight and Triple G got robbed. And again, a lot of people think that Triple G won the rematch and again got robbed. So again, all of it is opinionated. Would Canelo Alvarez, would he beat Daniel Jacobs? Would he beat Demetrius Andrade? Would he beat Billy Joe Saunders? Would he beat Triple G in a rematch? Again, it's all questions. But they have Canelo Alvarez as their pound for pound middleweight. And super welterweight, Jarrett Hurd. Again, unified champion. In fact, he's the only champion there currently that has been willing to actually put his title on the line against another champion in Erislandy Lara. Jamel Charlo has yet to do it. He talks a lot, but he's yet to do it. But of course, that doesn't mean Charlo can't beat Hurd. Just that Hurd, as of today, has fought better opposition and of course is the unified champion. So again, I can't disagree with that one too much. I know some people out there may say, but Kenat Islam could probably beat him, or Kell Brook could probably beat him. But until this time happens, we don't know. Welterweight, Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford is there. Now, he's only had 2 fights at welterweight. So again, it's difficult to say, but he is champion and he has defeated 2 undefeated fighters in Jeff Horn and of course Benavidez. So again, it's hard to disagree with that one, especially as he was undisputed champion at the weight class below at super lightweight. So yeah, again, I mean, I can't disagree with it too much, but again, would he beat Errol Spence Jr.? To be honest, quite likely, because Errol Spence Jr. is quite clearly ducking him, which is not really a good thing to say because I'm an Errol Spence Jr. fan as well. But all the signs are pointing that Errol Spence Jr. wants no smoke with Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford talks a good game as well, and he's done exactly what it says in the tin. Undefeated so far, done everything that he can do. So, again, difficult to argue with him being pound for pound number 1 at welterweight. And super lightweight, Regis Prograis. Again, difficult to argue with. I mean, would he beat Josh Taylor? Now, potentially he could get Josh Taylor in the World Box Super Series final. Would he beat Josh Taylor? Who knows? That's a real tough fight. But again, I mean, there may be a couple of others floating around. Would Adrian Broner beat Prograis? You know, I mean, there's plenty of things to talk about with that one. But for Prograis to be currently pound number 1, I don't have an issue with that one myself, to be perfectly honest. Vasyl Lomachenko, lightweight. Again, I can agree with it for sure. But also, it's arguable about Mikey Garcia, right? I mean, he's got a lot more fights and he's undefeated. He's unified in various divisions. But the problem is Michael Garcia doesn't look like he particularly wants a Lomachenko fight. In fact, he would rather face Errol Spence Jr. than fight Vasyl Lomachenko, which again is a bit of an odd one for me. But anyway, they have Vasyl Lomachenko as lightweight, pound for pound king. Super featherweight, Miguel Berchelt. Again, difficult one. I mean, he is the WBC champion, but to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of his. But I mean, for me, I would probably pick Gervonta Davis to beat him. Again, it's all subjective, isn't it? It's all opinionated. Maybe Tevin Farmer. I mean, Tevin Farmer is very, very underrated, but who knows? Who knows? But currently they have Miguel Berchelt on there. Also at the featherweight, they have Leo Santa Cruz. Again, it's debatable. Personally, I mean, I can see why, but again, you see, he's got a loss against Carl Frampton, but of course he has also beaten Carl Frampton. So did Carl Frampton be on the same level as him? I don't know. I mean, again, it's very, very difficult to say. But again, Gary Russell Jr., no, probably not. I mean, Oscar Valdez, for me, will probably be the one. That's just my honest opinion. At super bantamweight, they have Isaac Dogbo, a Brit. So again, yeah, I'm all in. A little bit of bias on that one. But there again, would Dogbo beat Daniel Roman? Again, very, very difficult question. I mean, I believe in Isaac Dogbo. I think Isaac Dogbo is the real deal. I really do believe that he is the real deal. Now at bantamweight, again, this one's a bit iffy as well, but you know, they have Luis Nery. Now Luis Nery is a quality fighter, but for me, no, is he in the World Boxing Super Series? Well, I mean, listen, I know that a lot of people are high on Luis Nery, and I understand why. It's just that for me, I don't know, I would probably go Inoue, to be fair. It's difficult for me to argue with Ryan Burnett. I mean, for me, Ryan Burnett was the number one in that division for, I don't know, I've been saying it for the last few months, but unfortunately he got injured where he pulled his back against Nonito Donaire in the opening round of this World Boxing Super Series, so I had to withdraw. So we don't know how well Ryan Burnett would have got on. How would he have got on against Inoue? Would he have beaten Donaire? You know, I mean, Emmanuel Rodriguez as well is also no mug, and of course Alane Tete is certainly no mug as well. So again, maybe it's all down to opinion. Well, I'll say maybe it is down to opinion, but I mean, for them having Luis Nery, can't argue too much, but for me, I'll probably have Inoue in that one. At super flyweight, they have Wisakil Wangek. Now, I don't know who he is, to be perfectly honest with you, but again, I mean, it's difficult for me to argue, but he's not really up there, in my opinion. I mean, when you look at that division, you've got to go with Hernan Cayas, surely. Or Teresa Getzel-Rungvisai with back-to-back victories over Roman Gonzalez and others. Okay, and let's not rule out Britain's own Kalya Fai. So again, it's very, very debatable, no doubt about it. And flyweight, of course, you've got Christopher Rosales, WBC flyweight champion. Now, is he the best? Again, it's debatable. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, I don't know too much about that division at all. Could he beat Andrew Selby? Andrew Selby is a very good fighter, in my opinion. But again, maybe I'm being a bit biased on that one. Or the WBO world champion, Kosel Tanaka. Don't know. As I said, I don't really know that guy too well at all. Well, I say I don't know him at all. I don't actually know him at all. And light flyweight, Ken Shiro. I have to agree on that one. He does have a fight coming up at the end of December 30th in Japan as well, where he's gone up against somewhat of a journeyman. I mean, I don't know, he's WBC champion, but I don't know, for me, I think he could have fought a bit more stiffer opposition, in my opinion. But anyway, I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with him being the pound for pound light flyweight or junior flyweight, however you want to call it, pound for pound number one. I mean, I kind of wish that him versus Moonsri would have happened, but ultimately that's probably not going to happen. Or I don't know, maybe against Inoue, who knows. And of course, at minimum weight or mini flyweight, if you like, we have Moonsri as their pound for pound number one. Now, of course, he is 51-0, so currently he holds the record of wins with no draws and no defeats on his record. So currently he's ahead of Floyd Mayweather Jr. But again, he hasn't exactly been fighting the best. Is he the best at this division? again, it's difficult to say. I mean, I don't know. I think there's probably a couple of fights that he probably could take on, but he's just not going to, is he? I think he's just going to go for some cherry picks. He has, even in recent times, he's been taking on a lot of people at their pro debut, even at this stage, okay? And he's been taking on journeymen and 6-rounders and 4-rounders and 8-rounders. I mean, for me, if you're WBC champion, you should be fighting the best around. That's just my opinion. He did win his last fight against a very good opponent, but ordinarily that doesn't really happen. So again, it's very difficult to say. So anyway, that is the list from BoxRec. So you drop me your thoughts about it. Who would you have in those divisions? Do you agree with it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Obviously, everything is opinionated. Don't need to take it too serious. It's just all opinion. Drop your thoughts below. Click that thumbs up and, of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.